Hey guys, welcome back again with another video and a new series. Yeah, I do something different altogether. This time, um, if you can't really tell it already, I will do a video about Yu-Gi-Oh! Not just a Yu-Gi-Oh! Video, a deck profile, my own deck profile. The one that I mostly play casual or just casual with friends, but also go to. But this one I will also use in locals with some events. So first off, I want to thank you all for watching this video. Of course, stay tuned. Also stay tuned for more already, because every now and then I will update this deck and I will let you guys know what I've changed and what I want to do with this deck. Plus, there's a possibility that I will build decks with you guys. You can suggest cards that I can maybe use in one of my upcoming decks. For example, I'm still busy with another deck, which is Panel Magician deck, and it's a bit of an amalgamation of some sorts. But I won't go into much detail about that deck, but because this time, this first video will go about a zombie deck. I'm really trying to get all of the needed cards. Wait, I've said that wrong. Hopefully you guys know what I meant. So let's go. Let's do this. Okay, first off, of course I have my own field center right now, an official Konami field center from 2019, as you can see here in the corner. I got it from a local event, from my locals, so it's really nice. I find it cost me some time to get this, but I'm really happy. So that's the field center. Nice, safe and sound. So let's go into the main deck first. I have a side deck. I have a side deck, but it's not that super good at the moment. So I use in my deck 3 Doom King Belderudge. Mostly because it's just my boss monster. I use Shiranui Squire. That's just the one normal summon I really care about when using. So because I run it once, it's not really that useful, but it will get me at least eventually a level 6 synchro monster on my field, and that's very handy. So 1 Shiranui Squire, and of course the 3 Shiranui Solitaires, always needed in any zombie deck. That's really one thing that is always needed in a zombie world or just a zombie deck. It's really needed. I can't say anything else about it. It's just needed. For now, I also run 2 copies of Pyramid Turtle. This one is nice because it lets me summon every monster in my deck for free when it is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, of course. So it can eventually special summon itself back. But if I really want, I can special summon one of my Doom Kings back on the field, and it's just that great. It's just that great. I really like Pyramid Turtle, but it will be cut out of the deck eventually. But for now, I need some plays. I had some plays, some how do I say it? If I, yeah. Oh, okay. WhatsApp, boys. It's not really what I want, so just 2 Perry turtles for now. They won't be in the final deck. I have 3 Necro World Banshees. Why? It's really just a play zombie world activate, add to hand or activate from deck. Most of the time it's not the best idea to begin with this card. It can be handy, but it doesn't need to be, because if you open, I will go about that, sorry, plays I won't do later, so, but Necro Banshee, when it has a quick effect, when it's on the field or in your graveyard, you can banish it, and you can add or activate some world straight from your deck. It's just that handy. And banishing zombies is just a thing now in these days. I run, of course, also 3 Mizukis. One of the most used zombie monsters in almost any zombie deck. It's just a banish discard, special summon another special summon and zombie monster from your graveyards. It's not that bad. I have also Gozuki. I have played this. Gozuki came from me in most corners. It got me back most of the time, back on my feet, if I say it right at least, because it's really handy when you need zombie world with Necro World Banshee. If it's in your grave now, if it's in your hand. But besides that, if you run, what was it? Solitaire, Shiranui Solitaire, you will also run 3 unit zombies. And here I've got him. Got him. No, sorry. Unizombie, nah. It's a must I say something about Unizombie? If anyone doesn't know Unizombie, then please look up. But it most of the time says it can target itself. Yeah, then all of your monsters cannot attack except zombie monsters. Then you may this if I and when you do that effect, then you can send a zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard, and that's really strong because zombie monsters like to be in your graveyards. And it has a target effect where you need to discard 1 card, and when you do that, it increases its level. So the first one is a discard effect, is actually literally a discard effect, and the other one is okay. Yeah, the other one, you have left a discard effect and discard from hand and then discard from deck effect, and both are really strong, especially if you are in need of both. Yeah, I said it right. So I also run 3 zombie ghost girls, so to speak, like 2 ghost ogre and snow rabbits, 2. I guess it's one of the better ones. And I've in the specific cases ghost bell, because and also I don't have any others. Plus 1 is already a zombie monster, so it helps a little bit with the consistency in the deck. It's a psychic, but it doesn't really matter. Also Tunas, so it also helps, level 3s, because most of my main deck monsters are level 4, so I can eventually easily make level 7 synchro. So that's also one of the things. But I'm not done yet, because of course once you renew Spectral Sword, so I can special summon it from my deck when I normal summon Squire. It's just a little play, and when it's summoned, I can eventually go into a synchro summon. I can synchro summon, or I can go into a link monster and eventually in my next turn use its graveyard effect by banishing itself and another monster with an amount of levels, banish them, and then I can special summon a synchro monster with the same amount of levels that were banished. Yes, that does sound right. So, for easy, 2 glow blooms. Yeah, just this is actually a card that you don't want to start with, and you want it. It's better in your main deck, so you can send it eventually with the effect of Unizombie to your graveyard, banish it, special summon Battle Rush from your deck, because if Zombie World is on the field, you can special summon with this card and level 5 or higher zombie monster from your deck. If Zombie World isn't on the field, you may add the card to your hand. So this is most of the time you actually want. I go already too far for my taste. So we have 3 Book of Lives. Let's literally target one of your monsters in your graveyard and target one of the monsters in your opponent's graveyard. Special summon yours because that's the first target, and banish the second target, which is your opponent. So 3 times, it's great. Use it many times. It really helps. Foolish Burial, of course. Pretty simple card. So yeah, send one monster from your deck to the graveyard. Handy. You can start if it's in your drawn hand, as in the first 5 cards that you drawn from your deck, then it's already a good card. 2, I can't. I'm originally Dutch, so that's my mother language. That's my first language. So English is not my native language, but yeah, and I can really speak out loud this word here. But please, if you know what this means, please just put it in the comments down below, and I will. And I really want to know what it means. But this card says that you can. That you can target 3 banished monsters and shuffle all 3 into the deck, and then you can draw 1 card. So it's actually just a little handy. It's draw power, so that's one thing. Plus, most of the time you banish already your monsters for the activation of their graveyard effects. And this one sends them just straight back into your deck, so you can use them again and again. It's almost necessary. I didn't know this card existed until about 2-3 months ago or something. So it's really, I think it's really handy. I first had one, and then at one of my locals, after the events, I think I got the second one, and it really helped me. It can. I just don't have words for it. It's just handy. It's just nice. Because zombies, 1 for 1. I've only one target, and of course that is Glow Bloom. Special summon from deck when you send another monster from your hands to the graveyard. So why not? It's good. It's not that bad. It's fine. Terraforming, so it's actually just an extra for Zombie World to get it faster on your field or in your hand, whatever you want. 1 because banlist reason. not the latest, but one of the most important cards of this whole deck, Zombie World itself. So yeah, of course, 3 times you want to run it. 3 times. It really helps you with the whole deck. We have 3 Rivalry of Warlords. If Zombie World is on the field and you activate eventually in your opponent's standby phase Rivalry of Warlords, then your opponent can't do anything except their first summon. If they don't have monsters, they eventually can only have 1 summon. Afterwards, they may only special summon and normal summon zombie monsters from their hands, deck, graveyard, and extra deck. It's just a nice combo. And the fun is, Zombie World has also a second effect that neither player can tribute summon monsters except for zombie monsters. So even if you play against a deck that tributes trap or spell cards like True King. So True King, yeah, for me it's a True King. They can tribute spells and traps with their own archetype name, but they aren't zombies. So if they aren't zombies in your hand, the monsters need to be in your hand. So if they aren't zombies, they cannot normal or tribute summon those cards when Zombie World is on the field. It's really, I love this combo. I really love this. But it also helped me sometimes myself. It didn't help me sometimes, especially in 2 vs 2. It was really difficult to go around. But this is not really it. If you've counted right, there were only about now 39 cards. So the last one is Metaverse. Also set because of the ban list on 1, so you just run 1. Because you really want, as fast as you can, Zombie World on your field. You want to activate it straight away in your very first turn. So yeah, this is the main deck. I really love this deck, but it still needs some work. So I will place it here, and I will go into my how can I say this? Into my extra deck. I know it's not the best. It's not really the best options, but it is at least good. So first of all, 2 Dragonecro Nethersoul Dragon. So this is just for zombies. This is just a zombie fusion, but as a dragon monster, and it's not bad either. It has really good effects. So yeah, and I can special summon this, and I can fusion summon this card even if I don't run any polymerizations or whatsoever. So it's really nice. Help me sometimes. Didn't got the next one. I had this one once, and I got this one once on my field. Both presents on the same field, so in the same round, literally in the same duel. It was really funny to watch this going. It's Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, and it only needs 2 dark monsters. And you may ask now in your head, how is it possible that you've summoned these guys? How did you summon these guys? Well, it's not really. It's of course a special summon, but it's a fusion special summon, so it's still different. But how did you fusion summon them? Well, I will go. It's a little bit later, but first off, Underworld Fighter Bellman. I didn't. This is just for now, a little bit for now, not for consistency. But if I can go into this one, I think. Oh no! After seeing a card as a tuner, it's a level 1. I can't go into this one. That's not really the point. Hey, do I? No, I probably can. Just a level 1 tuner plus a level 3 monster, which isn't a tuner. it's possible. But yeah, just it's nice, but I didn't use it very much at all. I didn't use it at all when I did this. When Unrolled Fighter Bellman was in my extra deck. So it can be great, but it isn't being used at all in any duels or whatsoever. So next up, Shiranui Swords Sage. So yeah, I can't really say no to this card. It's just handy, actually. Yeah, once per turn, if this card is present, target one monster on the field changes battle position. It's in that case not that bad, but it could be better. But for now, it's just a synchro target. I have two which I most of the time use, and one of them I will let you guys see now. Archery and Zombie Skill. You may all think now how and why you can't really make that card because you don't have Black Spreader Zombie. Well, I can special summon this card from the extra deck, and its effect will go off, but it's a little bit different than you may know on how to synchro summon this, because it's not a synchro summon, it's just a normal special summon from extra deck, and it's not really that bad. The stats aren't also that great, but it can go over some boss monsters. Not most of them, but some. And then the one that really makes me laugh when I can play it and can use it for these cards. That's Muddy Mud Dragon. Yeah, this is the synchro variant of the fusion monster of this card. So why synchro? Well, it's a level 6, so I can go straight into it when I have 3. No, at least 2 level 3 monsters, like a Unizombie with another one or something, or don't know. But this one lets me fusion summon during my main phases by using where I can use Muddy Mud Dragon itself for the fusion summon materials, but it doesn't need to be. So you can have you have this one on your field. For example, it's format 3 of ruling, but it's extra deck cards, and you have, I don't know, you have 2 dark monsters or something on your field. Use them, and you can go into Starving Fusion Venom. If you have still 2 zombie monsters on your field, you can just fusion summon again into Nether Soul Dragon. It's really not that strong, but it is handy. It can come in handy, but with rule 4, with extra deck monsters and the link monsters, it's a little bit difficult, but it's still possible. So I really like this card. Helped me a lot. I have 2 Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon. I didn't make this card really that much, or just at all for now. But I know it can be very strong because it gets 100 attack for each zombie monster in both players' graveyard, in all players' graveyards and fields. So in that way, it can get really strong, and it can get rid of eventually most of the stronger boss monsters with higher attack than itself as basic as the original attack. But yeah, it's nice. I really want to use it. 2 is fine. I can maybe cut it to 1, but for now 2 is fine. Stardust Dragon is in here. Mars for filling the extra deck. Plus I've used it. How many? 2 minutes to count right now, and it really saves me sometimes. It saves me sometimes, but not always. Just handy dandy for certain how do you say it, for certain moments when I duel another one, which is a bit difficult to get rid of. I don't have the other one, but here's Bielsa's of the Diabolic Dragon. It's just as some of in here, like Bulming. Further, I didn't go into this one anytime. It's just for me a little bit too high. I think level 10. I can go into it, but I don't do it. Shiranui's Sunsage. If you don't know this card, I really don't want to read its effects. But I can tell you one thing right now. It's really strong for a Synchro zombie monster. Also 0 defense plus pretty high attack value, so I'm happy. I'm happy with this one. And I just need one. It's that much enough. Next, Link monsters, because these are synchro monsters with 3 fusions. The first one, Link Kuribo, cause most of the time, just go into it when you special summon with 1-for-1 a glow bloom. So it's a target, and it's really just really nice to use sometimes. Next, Event Red Savior, mostly because it's a replacement for Vampire Sucker. Not only because of both cards' link markers that they point to are the same, but its second effect is just also handy in certain matches. So yeah, just a no-brainer actually for me. And the most fun card, which I really want to use and which I really want twice instead of one, is Vampire Sucker. I like this card so much. I really do. Its effect is strong. It's just 2 link mark. It's just 2 link arrows. And you can really get this card fast, really fast on your field, especially when you go first or second. It doesn't really matter. You want to go into this card. Place it, and then eventually, if you've got this one also together with at least 4 other monsters on your field, like here, and here, you can literally eventually go into here and eventually use itself as a material and another monster that you want, and you can get this. You can get this kind of board. One Nether Soul Dragon, Vampire Sucker, and a Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. It's strong, alright? It's strong. It can be really strong, but it just needs some tweaking and some... yeah... it's most of the time just a bit I can't get the right words out of my mouth. But it can be very strong and very handy. I like this deck so much. It's now also my primary deck. And that must say something a lot. So that is the extra deck. Next. Because some cards can make tokens, and I don't really have those token cards, I have these 2. Synthetic Drexel, because they are tokens, you can also use them for other monsters or effects as token replacements, so they're just there as tokens. So that's it. Next, my side deck. For the moment, it's just 1 card 3 times. So, and it's Mask of Restrict. It just lets Nightblade can just tribute some monsters. That's it. That's really it. So if you play against decks that like to tribute summon monsters like through Draco or through Draco, or something else like an Ross Fremont or something. Just plop this one down, opponent's turn, stand by face, activate, Massacre Restrict, and they can't tribute monsters. So they can't even tribute your monsters as a tribute material, as I say it, like that. And go, yeah, and they can't really go anywhere. But neither can you. But if you have mostly a deck that can special them from graveyard or a deck or bench cards, then it's not really a problem. So it's mostly to shut down decks like True Draco. Thus is where this card comes in. So this is really my only card in my side deck right now. When I want to use this card, I just replace one ghost. Just one ghost. Ghost ogre, together with one of my pots. What was the other card? I think one of my pyramids or something. Just most of the time it's a card that I don't really get that really fast or helps me that out. So I want to go into some of the plays that I most of the time make. So first off, let's get and now I want you to show now I will show you all how to play this deck of mine, this zombie deck. So first off, just shuffle. I know this is not really good right now at shuffling, but just shuffle your deck, and for this purpose I won't do this for long, because otherwise the video will get too long to watch, and it's already over 30 minutes, so yeah. Let's do this so it's easier to see, also for you guys, not only for you but also for myself. So yeah, shuffled, great. All things considered, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 cards you start with, and for like now, just monsters. So if you what you can do now is really simple. What I normally do is, first off, if you go first, normal summon Unizombie, activates its effect. You can target a monster on the field, Unizombie itself, and you discard one card. So just a card. So it can be monsters, spells, or traps. And then increase Unizombie's level by 1. So which for now I will dump Necro Banshee to my graveyard, so it's discarded, goes into my graveyard, activates its effects, banish it, activate Zombie World straight from my deck. So is Zombie World, yeah, Zombie World activates. Don't shuffle, just put it back here for now. So for simple sake, boom, just for simplicity. So Banshee is now banished, and you have some words on your field activated, and you have these cards in your hands still. So what you eventually can do is target Unizombie again, but you cannot attack except zombie monsters. So that said, it means send one zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, increase the target's level by 1. So instead of 4 now, it becomes eventually 5, and most of the time now it's just sending one of the glow up blooms, which is still in this deck. Probably. Oh yeah, of course. So if this card is sent to the graveyard, so it's now sent to the graveyard, so it starts a new chain, actually. Now, if it's got a sense, does it? Yes, no, it doesn't. Well, this is first, then this goes again off, so this is again 1. So yeah, so Glow Bloom is sent to the graveyard. Activates this effect when it goes to the if it's sent to the graveyard, banish it and special summon one of your Battle Rush. This is my way of doing it. So these are just my plays that I do. So special summon Doom King, Battle Rush from your deck. And right now, because I don't have any other cards to play, I will just let my opponent go right now, and then they do something. The first monster they summon becomes a zombie monster if it has an effect and it activates its effect. I just use Battle Rush. I can negate that effect, or I can banish cards entirely. So I will do one of those. And if they are in a really heavy combo deck, I just negate eventually one of those monsters' effects with Battle Rush, and then eventually use the banish effect later on or earlier, depends on what they want to do. But when I'm again when it is my turn again, just in this case, Zero New Style or Global Bloom. But if it's still my first turn, and these two are on my field, I just eventually say I link summon Unizombie and Doom King away, so they go both to my graveyards, and I link summon, for example, Vampire Sucker here. It's really nice because I still have a monster, but in my opponent's standby phase I can special summon Doom King back again on my field, because there is a field spell card on or in one of the field sounds. So when it's their turn and they declare the standby phase, I just say I want to activate Doom King's effect. Special summons itself on my field. Vampire Sucker's effect goes off, and I can draw one card, and still I have 2 cards instead of 0. I just have 2 cards, and now I've drawn Permanent Tussle, so it's their turn. They do what they want. It's my turn again. So what I then want to do is, for example, normal summon Shiranui, Solitaire, effects, tribute itself, and I special summon a Unizombie from my deck on field. So because this is in my turn, and I can activate Vampire Sucker's effect again, because when a zombie monster is special summon, it's special summon from graveyards. Yes. So a little bit too fast right now for myself, actually, because it's a special summon from deck. It's not from graveyard. I cannot activate the effect of Vampire Sucker, and I still have these cards. So what you can do is activate Unizombie's effect, target itself, discard 1 card, Mizuki, and its level becomes 4. So again, what do you eventually then want to do? Because now I must literally read some cards. No. Okay, so not that one. Oh yeah. I know something. I know something that you can eventually do. So you've sent Mizuki with Unizombie's first effect to the graveyard. So if you want, you can activate Mizuki's effect, banish it, and special summon one of these. If you want, you don't need to, but if you want, it's an option. Now you can literally just banish Mizuki, special summon, for example, Solitaire, defense, doesn't matter. Activate your Unizombie's other effects. Target itself for the rest of the turn. You cannot attack except zombie monsters, and then as cost you can send one zombie monster from a deck to the graveyard. That's the cost. So what you want to do in this case is just send one of your, what was it, Gozukis. Because I run 2, it's just one of them. So Gozuki goes to the grave. Gozuki's effect wants to go off, because it's still your main phase. You can eventually activate its effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish one zombie monster from the graveyard, except Gozuki, special summon one zombie monster from your hand. So you banish one of your Unizombies, and Gozuki is still then in your graveyard, and then you just special summon one of these. So in this case, you know what? Just a Glow Bloom. And before I want to go further, I can eventually say Link Summon. So Glow Bloom goes away. For Link Kuriboh, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a level 5 or higher zombie monster from a deck to the from your deck to your field, or add it to your hand. So if zombie word is on the field, you can special summon it. So special summon another Battle Rush. And still, between all those effects that I just literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, so it's exactly 5. And because all of these cards are zombie monsters, and you activate the zombie monster's effect, you can still use the banish effect or the negate effect of the first Doom King that you used on all other cards that you control or your opponent controls. The banish effect, it's just for what was it? Just one monster from the field or graveyard. One monster, so it doesn't specify, and it is not a target. So again, it gets around some pretty how do you say it? Pretty hard boss monsters to get rid of. So yes, it's helpful. So this is strong, these cards here. Those two can go away, but because this is tuner and most of them are not tuners, and this is level 5 by the way, and this is 4, that means 9, but I don't have level 9 monsters. That's a little problem. But yeah, Link Kuriboh, why not? If I want, I can go Link Summon another card, but you don't need to. Oh, and because of one of the special summon from Mizuki from a graveyard, you actually draw one card, so I forgot that, but oh, right, fun, yeah. But yeah, this is already one of strong boards, and these kinds of plays just need 2 turns most of the time. If you're really good and really consistent with your zombie deck, you can get this board and even better straight away in 1 turn. But you need the combos, and you need to have the right hands to do it. If you don't have the right hands, or you don't top deck the first card that you need to play eventually the combo right away from your in your first turn, then you almost fucked up. But if you can get at least to Doom King and Vampire Sucker, you're most of the time settled. And if you have extra backup cards, like in this case Pyramid Turtle, and you lose these and these, or these and these, doesn't matter. Just set one of your Pyramid Turtles. They don't know what it is, but you will set it. They probably will attack it, so it goes face up, goes to the graveyard, and you can special summon literally a Doom King from your deck. But if they have negates, yeah, sorry, it's negated, actually. But it's still just a backup. Plus Pyramid Turtle has doesn't have the right fine stats, but you can still use it as a material for a synchro summon, or for a synchro monster, or a fusion monster, or whatsoever. It's for this on this moment. On this time, for now, it's just filler, just some filler. It is pretty usable, but filler. So yeah, and this were 2 turns, and you have already used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cards. 13 cards in your two turns. In just 2 turns. That I must really say one thing about this is you will go pretty fast go out of your main deck because of how many times you can just send cards from your deck to the graveyard or add cards from your deck to the graveyard or just draw power or whatsoever. In a zombie deck with just 40 cards, which this is by the way, this deck will go pretty fast and go down in size. So yeah, I like this deck. It's one of my playstyles. I really like it. How zombies play. It's just one of my favorites. I had always a sort of fascination with zombies most of the time. Mostly because of one series, The Walking Dead, it's really helped. Eventually this deck will become a little bit better and maybe filled with some Fun Dread cards, so it will be a bit more stronger at attack power. It will eventually have a trap card that can say target 5 banish zombie monsters, return them to the graveyard or deck and draw 1 card or something. It's strong and it's in a Fun Dread archetype, and I think it's really nice because 5 zombie monsters in your graveyard you banished. You can get that really fast because of all the special summoning from graveyard. And I must say, I just don't know. I just like this deck very much, and it just cost me at least 3 structure decks of zombie hordes, so that's where most of these cards come from, like the Doom Kings, Solitaires, Unizombies, Pyramid Turtle, Zombie World, of course, Phobes, and name it, just name it. And because most of the time in my deck it are monsters, like it's almost 30 monsters. I didn't miss a spell card back there, I think. So I didn't start with Foolish Burial. That was a shame. Or I didn't start with I didn't start with Squire, because Squire, if you begin with Squire, you can normal summon, special summon Spectral Sword here from your deck. 2 monsters, so you go into Fun Dread or Vampire Sucker, depends on what you want. And eventually, in your next phase, you can in your next turn you can activate Spectral Swords graveyard effect, banish this card with Squire, special summon eventually a level 6 monster from your synchro monster from your extra deck, and it's strong. That's one thing I want to say, because when this card gets banished, you may draw 1 card and then discard 1 card. So it's strong. And when those kinds of effects with a zombie deck, it's nice. It's nice to have, because you draw 1 card, and if you have a card that you really want in your graveyard to activate this effect quick, you just can do that just fine. It's not that bad. So let's see. This is the staple of spells and traps, and these are monsters. So you can already see a little bit of how many cards you want to have for zombie decks. So in my case, it's more about monsters instead of spells and traps. But there are some that are just necessary, always. Like 3 zombie rolls, it's always necessary. 2 pots of acquisitiveness, I don't know. Handy, it doesn't need to be in your deck, but it's handy. It's Rivalry of Warlords, just also one of the staples. Metaverse can 1-for-1 for this burial, also a need. Terraforming, not really can. It's an option. So that was my this was my deck profile. I hope you guys liked it. And always like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. And I will see you guys all in the next video. And as I said, just subscribe and comment down below. I really want to hear what you guys think of this deck. And I hope you liked it. Bye. Bye.